The transfer portal is starting to get cranked up. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I do college football videos every single day. So whether you agree with me, want to talk trash with me, or talk trash to me, you're going to enjoy this channel. Yes, that's right. The transfer portal is starting to get cranked up. Let's be honest. It's always in motion, but sometimes it's a little bigger than other times. I wanted to look at last year's real quick and actually give it a grade. So in 2020, here's the higher profile transfers that occurred. Jake Bentley, I know it's not a big time name, but here in South Carolina, which is where I live, it was a big deal. He transferred from South Carolina to Utah. C-. Not very good at all. Chase Brice, he transferred from Clemson to Duke. D-. He did terrible, and that was a bad decision. Felipe Franks, transferring from Florida to Arkansas. That was actually not bad. I give it a C. Could have been better, but Arkansas was a decent team, even though they have a losing record. KJ Costello, from Stanford to Mississippi State. Well, he got off to a good start, but overall, a D. Not good. They finished dead last. JT Daniels, from USC to Georgia. I give that a B, but it'll probably get better. Jamie Newman, transferred from Wake Forest to Georgia. I give that an F. He straight up quit on Georgia. Then, of course, D'Eriq King, from Houston to Miami. I give that an A-. That was a great decision, and it's paying off, and it will continue to pay off. Let's go through this year's transfers. Quarterback McKenzie Milton. Remember him? He was a great quarterback for UCF. He's transferring to Florida State. Wow. People forget he's a dual threat quarterback. Right now, he's ranked as a 4-star. Over his career, 630 for 1,020, 61.8%. He's thrown for 8,683 yards, 72 touchdowns, and 22 interceptions. For rushing, 285 carries for 1,078 yards. That's 3.8 yards a carry and 20 touchdowns. This is a very interesting transfer. I'm going to keep my eyes on it. Next up, I've already mentioned his name, Jake freaking Bentley. He's transferring again. I don't know exactly where to yet, but he's transferring from Utah to who knows. He's still ranked as a 4-star. In 2020, he was 77 for 124. That's 62.1%, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Overall, 703 for 1,126, 62.4%, 61 touchdowns, and 38 interceptions. Dual threat, by the way. 34 carries for 113 yards, 3.3 yards a carry, just 1 touchdown. Over his career, not good. I would not label him as a dual threat. 228 carries for 256 yards, averaging 1.1 yards a carry. That's not a dual threat, but also 9 touchdowns. But whatever, he's transferring. Another quarterback that is ranked as a 4-star, Hendon Hooker. He is transferring from Virginia Tech. I don't know where yet, but in 2020, he was 98 for 150. That's 65.3%. Threw for 1,339 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Over his career, 197 for 312. That's 63.1%. He's thrown for 2,894 yards, 22 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions. He's actually a decent quarterback. Oh yeah, dual threat as well. In 2020, 120 carries for 620 yards. That's 5.2 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns. Over his career, 247 carries for 1,033 yards, 4.2 yards a carry, 15 touchdowns. This guy would be a good catch. Another quarterback's name that I mentioned, Chase Brice. Man, he's already become a journeyman, and he's not even in the NFL. And yes, he does have NFL potential. He's transferring from Duke to Appalachian State. So he is staying in his region. Clemson to Duke, Duke to Appalachian State. In 2020, he was 192 for 351. That's 54.7%. Thrown for 2,162 yards, 10 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Over his career, he's 247 for 487, 56.3%, 3,185 yards, 19 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. He's labeled as a dual threat, but that's a loose label. In 2020, 90 carries for 93 yards. That's 1 yard a carry, 1 touchdown. Over his career, 120 carries for 280 yards, 2.3 yards a carry, and 2 touchdowns. But he is still a 4-star quarterback because he does have potential. But will that potential ever be unlocked? I don't know. I guess we'll find out at Appalachian State. A 3-star transfer out of Wisconsin, Jack Coan. He didn't get to play this year. In his career, 297 for 437. That's 68%. That's really good, actually. 23 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He'll be transferring from Wisconsin. No destination yet, but he's a good quarterback. Somebody needs to snatch him. 5-star running back Demarcus Bowman out of Clemson is transferring from Clemson to Florida. Not a big career so far. 9 carries for 32 yards at 3.6 yards a carry. I think Florida can use this guy. This next one surprised me. He has a 4-star rating. TJ Pledger, the running back for Oklahoma. Doesn't have a destination yet though. But in 2020, 95 carries for 451 yards, 4.7 yards a carry, and 5 touchdowns. Over his career, 135 carries for 695 yards, 5.1 yards a carry. Oklahoma will miss TJ Pledger. He was a good running back. These last 3 I'm about to mention are a little bit higher on name recognition. The first one, he's ranked as a 3-star quarterback. I don't agree with that if you're going to rank Jake Bentley as a 4-star. I think this guy is way better than him. Charlie Brewer. He is transferring from Baylor to Utah. So he will be taking over Jake Bentley's position, and Jake Bentley is transferring. So how is Jake Bentley ranked higher? Let's go over his stats. In 2020, he was 198 for 321, 61.7%, threw for 1,958 yards, 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Over his career, 828 for 1,304, 63.5%, throwing for 9,700 yards. This guy can finish his career throwing over 10,000 yards. That's crazy. 65 touchdowns and 28 interceptions. I think Utah will be a better team with Charlie Brewer. This next one is a big get for my team, West Virginia. He is a 4-star ranked offensive guard, Doug Nestor. He is transferring from Virginia Tech to West Virginia, so that's even better. Stealing from one of our rivals. He was an All-American, highly recruited out of high school. Some ranked him in the 4-star category, and some ranked him in the 5-star. Bottom line is, this is a great get for West Virginia, who is building up a strong offensive line, and we have a great run game because of that, and we get Letty Brown back. So look out for West Virginia's run game next year. Should be stout. Another name to keep your eyes on, if you're a West Virginia fan, is Brian Hudson. He is the center for Virginia Tech. He has entered the transfer portal as well. So if we got one, maybe we can get the other, and that would really add some depth. Then the last name that I want to mention, 5-star quarterback dual threat, D'Eriq King. He is not transferring. He is staying at Miami. This is a big deal. He's not going to the NFL, and he could have transferred, but he's staying. Big deal for the ACC. Big deal for Miami. In 2020, 201 for 316. That's 63.6%. Threw for 2,773 yards, 22 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. Over his career, 596 for 912, 62.4%. He's thrown for 2,495 yards, 72 touchdowns, and just 15 interceptions. That is a good quarterback. And oh yeah, he's a dual threat. In 2020, he had 122 carries for 520 yards. That's 4.3 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns. But over his career, 375 carries for 1,941 yards, 5.2 yards a carry, and 32 touchdowns. That is a big win for Miami. That deserves a congratulations. I am happy for you guys. I wanted it to happen. I'm not even a Miami fan. I just love this player. He is exciting, and Miami is going to be a team to look out for if they can get the defense sort of figured out. It wasn't horrible, but it definitely was not great. So you get that figured out, and Miami should be a playoff team. We'll see how it goes. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.